You are sitting very still. Someone is leaning over your open mouth with a small, rough stone, and they are grinding it back and forth against your front teeth. You can feel the vibration deep in your skull. You can taste the grit, and with every scrape, your teeth are being shaped, filed down into sharp, deliberate points. When they finish, you will smile, and your smile will be full of fangs. And you asked them to do this. You wanted it. In your world, this is beautiful. This is one of the most widespread and least talked about things ancient humans did to their own bodies. All over the planet, in the Americas, in Africa, in Asia, in Viking Age Europe, people deliberately filed, chipped, drilled, and decorated their teeth. Not because they were forced to, because a mouthful of shaped, sharpened, jewel-studded teeth was, in culture after culture, the height of beauty, status, and identity. So the question is, why did so many separate human societies look at a perfectly good set of teeth and decide to carve them into something new? And how on earth did they do it without modern dentistry? Let's start with the how, because it's more sophisticated than you're imagining. The simplest version is filing. Using stone tools and abrasive sand, people ground the edges of their teeth into shapes, points, notches, angled edges, elaborate zigzag patterns. It was slow, it was careful, and it took real skill to shape a tooth evenly without shattering it. But some cultures went far beyond filing into something that genuinely rivals modern dentistry. The ancient Maya of Central America didn't just file their teeth, they drilled them. They took small round pieces of jade, turquoise, and pyrite, shining semi-precious stones, and set them into the front teeth as decoration. To do this, they drilled a neat, round hole into the living tooth using a hand-spun drill, tipped with hard stone and fed with abrasive grit. Then they fixed the gemstone into the hole with a homemade cement made from plant resins and minerals. And here is the part that should stop you cold. That cement was so good that in many skulls, over 1,000 years later, the gemstones are still firmly in place. The Maya were doing precision cosmetic dentistry, drilling into living teeth and setting jewels, and their adhesive has outlasted entire civilizations. Now, drilling into a living tooth sounds like a nightmare, and this is where the Maya reveal just how much they actually understood. If you drill too deep into a tooth, you hit the pulp, the soft core full of nerves and blood vessels, and you cause agony and infection. But when researchers examine these decorated Maya teeth, they find that the drilling almost always stops just short of the pulp. They knew exactly how far they could go. This wasn't reckless mutilation. It was a precise, learned craft with a real understanding of the anatomy of a tooth. People walked around with jewels in their smiles, and their teeth stayed healthy. So that's the how. Now the far more interesting question. Why? Why would anyone do this on purpose? The first and biggest reason was beauty and status. A decorated mouth was gorgeous, sharpened teeth, a jade inlay catching the light when you smiled. These marked you as someone of importance, someone with the wealth and standing to modify their own body. Your teeth were jewelry you could never take off. Your smile announced your rank before you said a word. The second reason was identity and belonging. In many African cultures, tooth filing and chipping marked which people you belonged to, your tribe, your community. A particular pattern of filed teeth was like a permanent badge of who you were. And in a lot of cultures, tooth modification was a rite of passage. You had it done at a specific age, at the threshold of adulthood, and afterward you were recognized as a full-grown member of society. The pain and the permanence were the whole point. You endured something, and you came out the other side transformed, marked forever as an adult. Now, let me throw the wildest part at you because this isn't ancient history at all. In Bali, Indonesia, there is a ceremony still performed today, the tooth filing ceremony. When a young person comes of age, their sharp canine teeth are ceremonially filed down flat. And the meaning is beautiful. In Balinese Hindu belief, the pointed canine teeth represent the animal within us, the wild base instincts like greed, anger, and lust. Filing them down is a symbolic act of controlling those instincts and becoming a refined, civilized human being. Think about that. On the other side of the world, the Maya sharpen their teeth to look more like powerful animals. In Bali, people file their teeth to look less like animals. The exact same body part, the exact same tool, opposite meanings, because the meaning was never in the teeth. It was in the culture, and it wasn't just warm places and ancient empires. The Vikings did it too. Archaeologists have found Viking-age skeletons, particularly in Sweden, with deliberate horizontal grooves filed into their front teeth. Neat, even lines, carved on purpose. We're still not completely sure why. Some researchers think the grooves may have been filled with pigment to make them stand out, possibly as a mark of a warrior or a trader group. But there it is, fierce Norse seafarers sitting still while someone filed patterns into their teeth. So step back and look at the sheer spread of this. The Maya drilling jewels into their teeth, African peoples chipping theirs into points of identity, Balinese teenagers filing down their canines to tame the beast inside, Vikings grooving lines into their front teeth. These cultures were separated by oceans and thousands of years, and they all arrived at the same idea. The teeth you were born with are a starting point, not a final answer. But now, the uncomfortable part, because there's always one. All of this was done without anesthesia. Every filed point, every drilled hole happened in a living, conscious mouth, one of the most sensitive parts of the entire body. And a great deal of it was done to the young at coming of age, sometimes to children. The endurance it took to sit still while your teeth were ground into shape is almost impossible to imagine. And when it went wrong, a drill too deep, a cracked tooth, an infection, the results could be deadly in a world with no antibiotics. This was beauty paid for in pain. And before you feel too superior about it, look in the mirror. We still do this. We drill into perfectly healthy teeth and glue on porcelain veneers. We cement grills of gold and diamonds over our teeth, which is almost exactly what the Maya were doing with jade. We spend years and fortunes in braces, moving our teeth into the shape our culture has decided is correct. The tools got better. The anesthesia arrived, thank goodness. But the impulse? To take the teeth you were born with and reshape them into something the world will admire is precisely the same. So, did ancient humans really file their teeth into fangs? Yes, and they drilled them, jeweled them, grooved them, and blackened them all over the world for thousands of years. Not out of savagery, but out of beauty, status, identity, and the passage into adulthood. They turned the human smile into a canvas for who they were. The next time you run your tongue across your teeth or catch your smile in a mirror, remember that a smile has never just been a smile. For as long as there have been humans, it's been a statement, carved, filed, jeweled, and shaped into whoever we most wanted to be. They just used a sharper stone than your dentist does.